What if I told you that a single car just sold for a jaw-dropping $143 million? That's not a typo, that's $143 million for a car. But not just any car. This is the legendary 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe, a masterpiece of engineering, history, and sheer speed. Only 2 were ever made, and one of them just shattered every auction record in existence. It wasn't sold in some flashy public bidding war. No, this was a secretive, invitation-only event at the Mercedes-Benz Museum in Germany. The lucky buyer? A mystery collector represented by British car dealer Simon Kidston, who spent 18 months convincing Mercedes to part with this priceless machine. What makes this car so special? Why did it shatter records? Let's dive in. So, what is it about this Mercedes, and why is it now worth many millions? The answer lies with the man behind the machine. Rudolf Uhlenhaut, an engineer whose passion for speed shaped some of the greatest cars in Mercedes-Benz history. Uhlenhaut's love for all things mechanical started early. After studying engineering at the Technical University of Munich, he joined Mercedes-Benz in 1931 and by 1936 was leading their racing department. He wasn't just an engineer, he was also a seriously fast driver, even outpacing some of the pros. To keep Mercedes-Benz ahead of their fierce rival, Auto Union, he transformed the W25 into W125, helping Rudolf Caracciola claim the 1937 European Championship. During World War II, Uhlenhaut shifted his focus to designing aircraft engine components for Daimler-Benz. After the war, he briefly dabbled in trucking before returning to Mercedes-Benz in 1948. By 1952, he had created the W194 300 SL, which led to the birth of the 300 SL Gullwing, one of the most beautiful and iconic road cars ever built. But Uhlenhaut wasn't done pushing the limits. His next masterpiece was the W196S 300 SLL, a car that dominated races. However, the 300 SLR also has a tragic past. At Le Mans in 1955, Mercedes driver Pierre Levegh crashed into the crowd, causing one of the worst disasters in motorsport history, killing 80 spectators. In response, Mercedes-Benz withdrew from racing at the end of the season. But before that, Uhlenhaut had already secured 2 W196S chassis to build a road-legal version, and that's how the legendary 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe was born. With its widened and lengthened body, gull-wing doors, and a 2.5-liter straight-8 engine producing 228 kW or 306 horsepower, this wasn't your typical road car. It could hit 290 kilometers per hour or 180 miles per hour, making it the fastest car of its time. Originally, it was meant to compete in the 1955 Carrera Panamericana, but after the Le Mans tragedy, the race was cancelled. So, what did Uhlenhaut do? He made it his daily driver. Imagine pulling up to work in a race car. To avoid waking up the entire neighborhood, he even fitted a massive exhaust silencer. Because, let's be honest, no one wants their morning coffee ruined by the roar of a high-performance race engine. One of the most famous stories about Uhlenhaut's coupe is his Munich to Stuttgart dash. Running late for a meeting, he covered the 227-kilometer journey in just 1 hour, an average speed of about 227 kilometers per hour. That's the kind of being late that deserved its own legend. But what makes this billionaire car so special? Let's get straight into the specs. Under the hood, this luxury car packs a Type M 196S twin-spark inline-8 engine with dry sump lubrication. The 2,982cc powerhouse produces a staggering 310 horsepower at 7,400 RPMs and 317 Nm of torque at 5,950 RPM, giving it a specific output of 103.96 bhp per liter. With a 9.0 to 1 compression ratio, it was built for raw performance. The engine sits front, longitudinally, with a 53-degree inclination to the right, a unique feature that helped lower the car's center of gravity for better handling. The 300 SLR 1955 was a monster on the road. Weighing just 1,117 kilograms, it had an incredible power-to-weight ratio of 277.53 bhp per ton. Paired with a rear-mounted 5-speed manual transmission, the car delivered seamless power to the rear wheels, allowing it to reach a top speed of 284 kilometers per hour. It could have gone even faster in race conditions, with some estimates putting its real-world top speed at over 300 kilometers per hour, which made it the fastest road-legal car of its time. The chassis was a work of art. It featured an Electron body mounted over a steel tubular space frame, making it both lightweight and strong. The double wishbone front suspension and swing axle rear suspension use longitudinal torsion bar springs and telescopic shock absorbers, ensuring it stayed planted at high speeds. The inboard duplex drum brakes with power assist provided serious stopping power, a necessity for a car this fast. Rolling on wire spoke wheels, the Mercedes SLR 1955 had 6.00 x 16 front tires and 7.00 x 16 rear tires, giving it excellent grip on the road. The wheelbase measured 2,370 millimeters, while the front and rear track widths were 1,330 millimeters and 1,380 millimeters respectively. At 4,350 millimeters long and 1,750 millimeters wide and 1,210 millimeters high, it had aggressive proportions that screamed performance. Design-wise, the 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe was a masterpiece. Its elongated bonnet, side-mounted exhaust pipes, air vents, and wire-spoke wheels gave it an unmistakable presence. The wraparound windscreen and sculpted cockpit added to its aerodynamics, making it look as fast as it actually was. The famous gull-wing doors, borrowed from the 300 SL W198, weren't just stylish, they were necessary due to the car's high door sills. Despite all this, the 300 SLR Coupe never made it into series production. Uhlenhaut passed away in 1989, and his two coupes were quietly offered for sale. Shockingly, no one wanted them. Many simply didn't think they were valuable. Mercedes-Benz decided to keep both, displaying one at their museum, while the other remained in storage until May of 2022, when it was sold for 135 million euros at a secret auction in Stuttgart. But how was the SLR able to rake in that huge amount of money at the auction? Let's find out. By the way, if you're enjoying this deep dive into the legendary 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe, the most expensive car in the world, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a like. You won't want to miss any future videos covering many more masterpieces from Mercedes and how they continue to shape the world of classic cars. The 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR shattered previous records by doubling the $70 million paid for a 1963 Ferrari 250 GT in 2018 and tripling the highest price ever paid for a car at auction, $48 million for another Ferrari 250 GTO that same year. The record-breaking auction took place at the Mercedes-Benz Museum in Stuttgart, with the sale handled by R.M. Sotheby's. But this wasn't just any auction. You couldn't just waltz in with a big check and take the car home. Mercedes-Benz handpicked a small group of ultra-wealthy car collectors and art enthusiasts who aligned with the company's values. Not only did you need deep pockets, but you also had to agree to let the car be displayed at special events. This ensured that the world's most expensive car wouldn't disappear into a billionaire's private garage, never to be seen again. And speaking of billionaires, whoever bought this billionaire car remains a mystery. Some speculate it was a high-profile collector, but Mercedes-Benz hasn't revealed the buyer's identity. The second 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe remains in Mercedes-Benz possession, proudly displayed at their museum in Stuttgart. That means if you ever want to lay eyes on one of the most expensive cars in the world, you'll need to plan a trip to Germany, or hope that the secret owner decides to show it off at an event. So why was the Mercedes SLR 1955 able to fetch such an astronomical price? Automotive historian Carl Ludwigsen puts it simply: Mercedes-Benz never sells these cars. The 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe is part of the company's historic collection, which includes over 1,100 automobiles dating back to the invention of the car in 1886. The fact that Mercedes decided to part with one of its crown jewels sent shockwaves through the car world and set a new benchmark for classic car values. This sale also highlights how rare and iconic cars are now competing with fine art when it comes to investment value. With prices for classic and collectible cars soaring, who knows what the next record-breaking sale will be? Could another Mercedes, a Ferrari, or even a Porsche take the title of the world's most expensive car? One thing is for sure, this luxury car has set the bar sky high. The 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe is more than just a car. It's a symbol of engineering excellence, automotive history, and sheer exclusivity. This is one story that proves cars can be as valuable as priceless works of art. In conclusion, the 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe is more than just a luxury car. It's a defining piece of automotive history that set new records and redefined what a classic car could be worth. With its unmatched engineering, racing pedigree, and breathtaking design, this billionaire car remains one of the coolest cars in the world. The vision of Rudolf Uhlenhaut and the brilliance of Mercedes-Benz created an icon that still captivates collectors, enthusiasts, and even those who simply admire expensive cars from afar. From its record-breaking $142 million auction to its place in the Mercedes-Benz Museum, the legacy of the Mercedes SLR 1955 continues to inspire. Whether it's a rare classic, a museum masterpiece, or a symbol of automotive excellence, this supercar Blondie-worthy machine stands in a league of its own. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world's most expensive car, like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you in the next one.